Yo, what's up? What up? Um, if you're tuning in, welcome. Watch along with me as I watch Get Up. Just do a little sports recap. So I haven't been on in a while. And you know, sports, that's the passion right now, and that's what's going on. Just to kind of unplug from everything, and you know, it's a little bit inconsequential when we're talking about sports and not some of the more serious topics that's going on in the world. You know what I'm saying? So let's just dig in and get a recap of what's going on in the sports world via ESPN and Get Up. This is for fair use, fair use, fair use. So here we go.
And I have no friends here, like no friends.
Greeny is out today, seem like.
It's not even a holiday anymore, so we'll break down all the stuff in the NFL. We have a busy day to get to around the league. We also have some fellas joining us via technology. We'll keep track of Tim Hasselbeck, Dominic Foxworth, Seth Greenberg is here as well, and that's where we begin with a huge night. With just under a month to go in college basketball.
It was a huge game last night between Houston and Iowa State. I seen that. This wasn't shit. Duke blew Syracuse out. Like, it was horrible. And now, hold on. I'm looking for something to kind of, you know, put a little wager on. And so I go to Legit Picks on Facebook. It's a popular site where people put picks in, and you can kind of gauge what you gonna pick on there. Now they got some guys on there who you know, I guess you could say astute in their betting picks. One of the top guys on there, Ricky Lee, man, he been off lately. He picked Syracuse to plus the 20.5, and I'm like, oh shit, I don't like that one. And sure enough, they were down like 40 at one time. So this game wasn't shit. It was horrible. Yeah, they was only up 5 right at the half before the half, and now look, it's already up 10 in like a couple of minutes.
He's so poised, so patient, high basketball IQ, plays both sides of the floor, can shoot the three, a willing passer, and came right there.
Now look at the score. They done pushed it all the way to 20 before halftime. Wasn't but a minute left in the half. That's crazy work. Crazy. Dylan Mingo just committed on ESPN. He just committed to North Carolina. He opted not to join his brother at Penn State, and he chose to go to North Carolina to play. So, shout out to him.
I'm even going to ask this question, but is Cameron Boozer having an even better freshman season than we saw who in attendance last night Cooper Flagg did a year ago?
Statistically, he is, and he's asked to do more. I mean, you think about Cooper Flagg and the team that he played with. All 5 of them.
Cam Boozer putting it. He doing his thing. Freshman Carlos Boozer, former Chicago Bulls, man. Yeah, his son.
His physicality, it's absolutely incredible. And then consistency and efficiency. He's as efficient a player as there is in college basketball.
And you got to realize the tournament is almost around the corner. And we hadn't been hearing a whole lot about college basketball. You know, football season going on with the NFL and college. Then right after the Super Bowl, you got the All-Star Weekend. A lot of people talking shit about that. But now we're getting into college basketball, and that tournament is coming around here next month. And it's finna be huge. Huge. But Boozer is really doing his thing.
And oh, by the way, when your last name's Boozer at Duke, you kind of have a legacy to live up to. He's done that more in the early part of this season. And in this era, Coach, you have to believe every star freshman, they're going to be one and done and go on to the NBA. So when you watch Cameron Boozer play,
one and done,
what do you compare him to in the NBA?
Not his daddy. Paulo Banchero, another Duke great. The poise that he plays with, the versatility of his game, his ability to drive closeouts, his ability to stretch the defense, his physicality.
Yeah, his dad Boozer, man, he was more of a rebounder, you know what I'm saying, type of guy. He had a little offensive package, but he wasn't really, in my opinion, known for that. I think he was more known for defense. But he did have a little post package, you know, that he could implement as well. Because if you can't score the ball, unless you're just a super, super elite defender, you're not going to make it in the NBA.
To me, very similar to Paolo Banchero, a guy that basically another guy that had great success at Duke, but more importantly,
Yeah, Cam, he a motherfucker. And I hadn't even watched him play for real. But I'm, you know, just watching a few highlights, a few clips here and there, seeing his length, how he able to handle the ball, move the, you know what I'm saying, in transition and finish at the basket. Hey, the boy good.
This game was just
That boy right there can shoot.
from start to finish. Houston down 19-13. Fleming's drive.
But this game right here is the game where you had Iowa.
It was really
Iowa State, number 6, at home versus number 2, Houston. Iowa State with 2.5-point favorites in the game. Now, I'm looking at it like, man, I'm thinking for sure most people going to be taking Houston to probably money line that game or to cover the 2.5-point spread. So, and I'm thinking not a lot of people are going to money line Iowa State. So I took Iowa State on the money line, man. They were like what, minus like 119 or something like that. So I did pick up a little money on Iowa State, but I was shook because they went down 10 late in the second half, and I'm like, oh shit, my money's at stake. But hell, man, Iowa State, man, they got them white boys out there who moving the ball. They constantly moving, handling that, you know, on the what you call the give. They give it on the roll, and then and they just moving, and they moving that ball. Defensively, Bateman, that boy came in and he had some huge minutes against this freshman from Houston. The boy can ball. Bateman, he's a freshman as well, but he came in there and got some huge defensive minutes on that boy, and he hit some big threes in this game late in the game to get Iowa State back in the game at one point. So, hey, bro, I'm telling you, Iowa State, look out.
Fleming's coach that paced away.
6'4" guard, has a middle game, shoots some
That boy good.
changes speed, changes direction, uses that rhythm dribble.
That boy right there, he good.
Three. Terrific finisher at the rim. Then all of a sudden, Iowa State figures some things out right there. Iowa State drawing a double team and playing out of those double teams, 4 and 3 behind you. This guy, Joshua Jefferson, reminds me a little bit of Draymond Green, a big fella with soft hands who can finish around the basket.
But coach, it was when they were down to and they
Bateman, that's what I'm talking about.
got it last night.
They made all the plays, forcing Houston basically with trap plays, but here, Kingston Fleming's pull-up jumper, bang. As good a middle game as I've seen in a long time.
How about Nate Heisey here? How big was this?
This is absolutely huge. Great skip pass right there by Jefferson Heisey.
Yeah, that was a big time shot.
Heisey's yesterday.
Yeah, the Heisey will more on his sister in a minute. 70-67.
Oh, he almost terrible.
A great one in the Big 12.
Yeah, so Iowa State, they covered and they get the win
They could easily win
against Houston. So, hey,
Seth, when you look at the conference big
it's about to go down in March, bro. I'm telling you.
Who's the national champion?
Yeah, you put me in a corner. I'm going to tell you this. Yeah, I think that Kingston Fleming's is a difference maker late in games. Their ability to get extra possessions on the glass and off turnovers. Although Iowa State only turned it over 3 times. Having said that, I'm going to tell you, I think 4 teams in the Big 12 potentially can win a national championship. If Derek Peterson's healthy, Kansas can win a national championship. Iowa State can compete the way they defend, the shot making, and their backcourt defensively. Houston obviously is one of those teams. You're looking at a Big 12, and then Arizona was undefeated until this weekend. The Big 12, the top of the Big 12, is the best conference in college basketball.
Yeah, I agree. Greenberg.
Top heavy, they're really, really good. Down as you get to the mid-tier at the bottom, it's not as great. But 4 national championship contenders. You mentioned Fleming's. He was so good. 22-5-4 in the loss. I want to do the same as we did with Boozer, expecting that he'll be gone. Who do you see when you see Fleming at the next level?
I see 2 guys. I see De'Aaron Fox with that burst and that quick first step. And I see Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
I knew he was gonna say Shea. I knew it, and he kind of do put you in the mind of what they of Shea and De'Aaron Fox. You can see it. That boy good. He's a freshman, so you know this is gonna be it last year. He's out of there. Bateman on the other hand for Houston, I don't know because he's only averaging 6 points. He probably gonna come back for another year to try to prove his offensive game, and then he'll be out of there as a sophomore.
He gets to his spots. He can finish. He can shoot the three. He's an active defender. This guy is special. He's absolutely.
He is. He really is.
With explosiveness to his game.
You've done your research, by the way, in free throw shooting. I'm proud of you. Read the notes every
once in a
morning.
while.
You'll be set. But your comps dead on with some of these young players in the country. What a great time in college basketball. 3.5 weeks left until Selection Sunday. Coach will be busy with us throughout the morning. Coach Seth Greenberg with us. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Matty.
Back in studio, Dan Graziano. Busy day, an important day in the NFL offseason calendar. Franchise tag window open.
There you go. NFL, they never take a back seat to nobody. Don't matter if it's in season or out of season. The NFL do not rest.
Franchise or transition tags to a player. One player per team maximum each year, and the franchise tag obviously keeps a potential free.
And we already know George Pickens gonna get hit with the tag. Jerry Jones gonna tag him. It's over with. He ain't going nowhere.
Same thing, but at a lower price and with different kind of conditions.
Yeah, and that's important too because it opens today, but there's certainly a amount of time to get this thing done. So now that we've set it up, let's run a little bit of the hurry-up offense. When you look at this big picture, Dan, of all the players that could be tagged, which player is most likely to be tagged at the end of the franchise tag?
George Pickens of the Cowboys.
Not just say that. George Pickens go get tagged.
1 year, they're already paying CeeDee Lamb top of the market wide receiver money. George Pickens, a franchise tag would probably be about $28 million this year. Cowboys would do a long-term deal with him, but that could be a long and protracted negotiation. I know that sounds shocking.
$28 million to accept the franchise tag. You really can't not do it. They just released
A lot of cap space. The most prominent release they made was
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill, who now becomes a free agent, free to sign with any team anytime he wants.
Think he'll wind up signing back with the Chiefs and Pat Mahomes?
Which is March. But Tyreek Hill coming off a significant injury, and we'll see what the level of interest is in him at 32 years old.
Yeah, and then one of the things, if we're connecting the dots now,
Is Tyreek Hill a Hall of Famer? What y'all think about that?
this thing here is like,
I mean, the man have been to about 6-7 Pro Bowls.
he's going to be reunited with
Considered one of the top wide receivers in the game before the injury. I think is he a champion with the Chiefs? You got to think about it.
As I already alluded to, the big question marks around him is coming off of a really severe injury where he dislocated his kneecap and tore a number of ligaments, and he'll be 32 next month, which is around the age where receivers fall off. So if he goes to the Chiefs, I think the expectation should not be, or he goes anywhere, honestly, the expectation should not be that he's a true number one. Of course, he'll have an impact because he's that type of athlete, but I think he's past the point in his career where you can build an offense around him being the explosive player, and I think the Chiefs already know that.
Yeah, but he is a nice veteran receiver. You can bring him in, and he is healthy again. You see he's got the speed. He can come in and make something happen. Should he reunite with the Chiefs in that offense? Needs a bit of a pick-me-up. So, Graz, that was some of the moves with the Dolphins yesterday. What was another move, and what could they do coming up next?
Well, they also released a couple other guys, most prominently Bradley Chubb, the edge rusher. But the key question for the Dolphins now
Man, the
is-
Dolphins, they got to figure out what they're going to do with Tua. They done got Bradley Chubb, Tyreek Hill gone, Tua Tagovailoa. The questions all up in the air. What are these Miami Dolphins going to look like coming up this season
I think they believe there's a chance
at the quarterback position?
that they could work out
What they going to be doing at the wide receiver position? Like this team, they are definitely rebuilding right now.
$2 million in dead money, which is a monster number that they'd love to find some way to avoid.
And, Tim, we know Tua didn't even finish the season as the starter for the Dolphins. So what do you think his future looks like with Miami?
Yeah, I think the decision's been made on him in Miami. And, Graz alluded to it. They're either going to cut him and eat the entire, dead cap money. It's a reset in Miami. Obviously, new head coach.
I just said it. It's a whole complete reset. And within these head coaches, when they come in, they want their own players, especially at the quarterback position. They want their own quarterback. They got their own vision for what the team is going to look like. For me, if I'm a coach, I'm going to adjust my team to my personnel and not so much trying to find my personnel to fit my team. You dig what I'm saying? Like you gonna waste a lot of money trying to go out and find this and that, trying to get players to fit a certain scheme. You need to bring in coaches who know how to scheme around players. That's my opinion. If you're a GM or if you're an owner especially, you want to bring in coaches that know how to adjust around players and not try to have a certain way that they coach, and you got to have certain players to fit in your scheme. That's just my opinion.
Figure out where somebody would be interested in trading for him, despite the fact that I think that talent-wise, he's better than a lot of the quarterbacks that are out there right now.
And you wonder if he's even better than Quinn Ewers, who they ended the season with. You've got to expect they're going to do something at quarterback.
Even if they were to release Tua, they'll bring in somebody else. They have Ewers who played at the end of last year. I just want to make the point, though, the $99.2 million in dead money is a huge number.
Another thing I'm going to say about Miami's situation, you got to think about this, okay? You don't have a whole, what you got, Mendoza, even Chambliss. I think he would have been like the third or fourth quarterback taken if he would have entered the draft. He didn't even enter the draft. This dude went back to Ole Miss. And I'm like, why would you do that? He could be fighting for a starting job with a team like Miami. The league is in search of quarterback. Arizona, they moving off of Kyler Murray. Like different places or like different teams are in search for their next quarterback. A lot of these teams, and it's not a whole lot in the draft. Listen, it's gonna be some kid from some small college somewhere or some kid at one of these universities who hadn't even been getting a whole lot of looks or going to get an opportunity to get drafted and play in the NFL because this draft class is so, this draft class don't have a whole lot of good quarterback. Somebody like Diego Pavia, the Vanderbilt quarterback, he's going to get an opportunity, okay, to get drafted and play in the NFL with this draft class when normally a player of his stature that they tried to say, which I don't believe in. I believe if you could play, you could play. I don't care about your height. I mean, he did it in college. Why he can't do it in the NFL? The same players in college are going to the NFL, and he did it in the SEC. That's my opinion. Anybody can say that shit all they want to is they full of shit. When we done seen the historically where quarterbacks under 6 feet had success in this league, it was all a stereotype. It was all a ploy for ownership and GMs and head coaches, okay, to pick and choose who they want and use that height thing as what's the word I'm looking for? An arbitrary reason, okay, to disqualify somebody that they don't like. That's just period. That's all it is. But you know, shit, Chambliss should have came out. Quarterbacks like Pavia, they're going to get an opportunity this year. Hell, I wish my son, you know, if he was had tape as a starter at Central Michigan, man, I would put him in this draft right here because he can go out there and beat any quarterback in this draft. I guarantee it. Man, listen. So if I'm somebody like Chambliss, I would have entered the draft because you got all these teams that are going to be looking for the next quarterback and the next thing that's going to be going. So obviously Mendoza going to be taking one. I'm not sure about two, but I would be like, shit, Chambliss would have been third or fourth one taken. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Tua on the move. A lot of these quarterbacks on the move. Pat Mahomes injured. They're going to need a quarterback to come in and to fill up a roster spot while he rehab.
Years ago when the Broncos cut Russell Wilson, obviously they've been able to rebound pretty quickly. So it's not necessarily a death sentence for their cast.
Some would say the Dolphins have 99 problems and 2 isn't one. Hembo loved it.
Some might say, we'll look for somebody else.
All right, still ahead is the winner bust for the Knicks this season. And because their championship window closed before it really opens, our crew breaks it down next. Plus, the pressure is mounting in Buffalo. What moves should they make to give Josh Allen the best shot at the Super Bowl? That and more when Get Up rolls on. And during the break, I'll give Graz every Jay-Z.
I know whose line it was.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you?
I didn't.
You didn't respond to it.
Listen, that was crazy. But let's see what time it is. I got to wrap this up early. I got to go pick up some lunch for my wife. But listen, guys, I'm telling you. Now, while they on commercial break, okay, they coming back and they talking about the Knicks. Okay, we're gonna talk a little NBA. And before I go, I'm gonna talk this NBA talk for you. Okay, and I ain't got no stats or statistics. I ain't got any of that. Okay. But when I do come back with stats, I'm gonna show y'all something that is gonna be really, really interesting when it comes to contenders in the NBA for the NBA Finals and for the championship. Okay. But what they said before they left about Brunson and the Knicks, listen, man, we have to understand that it's now damn near now or never for the Knicks. It's open. Jason Tatum. See, when you have situations to where your window is open, you have to walk through the window. When the door is open, you have to walk through the door of opportunity. Not to say that these things are going to come around that often. You got to look at it. Boston Celtics. They've been at the top of the Eastern Conference for quite some time. Okay, right there, 1, 2, 3 at the top. Okay, they're one of their best players. He's been dealing with this Achilles. He's trying to work his way back. But Jason Tatum is out for the Boston Celtics. That's a window for you. Okay, the Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis, one of the best players in the world. His team is not playing well. He don't have the help. Middleton is out of there. Different things like that. Damian Lillard is out of there. You have to take advantage of these opportunities. You look at places like Detroit. Detroit, they're on their way. Indiana, they've been dealing with a lot of injuries. Okay, in the Eastern Conference. Okay, we already know what the Philadelphia 76ers with Joel Embiid not being healthy. So the time is now for a team like the Knicks to win the Eastern Conference and go to the NBA Finals and win a championship. Well, compete for a championship. I don't think they could win against the Western Conference champion, somebody like OKC, a team like Denver, maybe even a team. I think the West. I think the champion is going to come out of the West regardless. But you should be able to get to the finals and compete if you're the New York Knicks. Okay, you got a young team in Detroit that's coming, and guess what? They ain't going nowhere, and they only going to get better. So you got to be able to put a pin in Detroit right now, okay, and get to the finals. And it's only going to get worse. Okay, it got a little bit worse with the trade for James Harden going to Cleveland. That gives Donovan Mitchell, you know what I'm saying, another on ball guy to take pressure off of him and open him up at the 2 guard spot where he's going to, I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna take that back. That was just something to say for James Harden historically. A lot of people, they are bigging up the James Harden trade to Cleveland. I'm gonna say Cleveland took a step back because I think Garland right now in this time, I think Garland is better than James Harden. So I think they did take a step back, in my opinion. But nonetheless, James Harden is capable. He is an elite scorer. He can get to the rim. He can get to the foul line anytime he wants. And he's a willing passer, okay? And so when you got somebody like Donovan Mitchell, okay, I think that helps his game. And Cleveland can be a contender. Stephen A. did his list early on. I'm watching this. This is not live. And so they did the list earlier. Stephen A. did his fluid list, and he had Cleveland as a top 5 contender. Okay, so I can't knock it. So therefore is what I'm saying. Out of that top 5 contender, he had 3 teams from the Eastern Conference in that top 5 contender list, which I think that's that's asinine in itself. I think if you're going to have a top 5 contender list, I think 3 of the 5 should at least be out of the West Coast, because you got to think about it. There's more teams in the West that's better than those teams that he named in the East. I would put Detroit in there, maybe the Knicks, but I think Cleveland is kind of probably be on the outside looking in. You got to look at it like that. But yeah, the window is now for the New York Knicks and Jalen Brunson. If they can't get it done now, I don't see nothing that could point to them in the future of being a top 5 team on a list of contenders. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about it. I mean, they do got Brunson. They get Karl Anthony Towns. You know what I'm saying? They got the supporting cast there. Right now, I think it's the time. Because like I said, Detroit's getting better. Cleveland, okay? Motherfuckers still talking about LeBron going back to Cleveland. I don't know if that... Obviously, the way Bron playing, even though he's 45, I think that's going to... You still got to account for LeBron regardless. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Jason Tatum, he's on the way back. He's trying to come back before this season is out. Okay. If he decides to not come back, he's going to only be stronger for next season, which will put somebody else in the way of the Knicks. So the Knicks got to get it done right now, guys. Hey, listen up, man. It's 8:45. That's my time. I'm about to get up out of here. Anybody that's going to be watching this, let me know what you think about the content. I may do live streams and reacting live to shows like Get Up, shows like First Take, shows like what's my boy name? Colin Cowherd. I might do live, NFL live, NBA live. I might just start doing, live content based around, those types of shows. Also, maybe even live games. You know what I'm saying? We got some top 25 college basketball tonight. Obviously, we got some NBA. It's Tuesday night. Got some high school basketball tonight. It's first round of the playoffs for my son and the Philadelphia Tornadoes. Okay, they're traveling to Charleston for the first round of playoffs. So shout out to them. Good luck to them. Safe travels to them. I hope everybody goes in there and they play well. Maybe can get a win. Head to the second round. It's a pretty good team Coach 6ix9ine got. You know what I'm saying? I've been watching them. I've been there supporting, yelling, screaming out my mind, screaming at refs, about to get through out the gym, showing my love and support for the team. So I'm gonna be out there tonight, ready to get in the mix with them and let them know, hey, we here to support the Tornadoes. So we got that going on as well. Let me know about that. What you like about the content, put it in the comments. Until next time, Triple Beam, I am out. Peace.